Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Monday Morning Coffee with Christine. Read, watch, listen. Filming again here today, fortunately, at Pop 54 Art Gallery. My recommendation for a read this week is 3 Cups of Tea by Greg Mortenson. I think his story is amazing. He was climbing one of the tallest mountains in the world, came down, almost killed him. He was rescued by a little village, and he swore. One thing he noticed while he was there recovering was that the kids were writing in the dirt with sticks. That was the extent of their education. They had no paper, no pencils, not a building, and he swore that since they saved his life, he would come back and build them a school. He came back to the United States, drove around in his car, was homeless, I think he had everything that he owned in his car, went around trying to raise money, finally got one person interested. He went back, he did build that first school and ended up building hundreds of schools all over Afghanistan and Pakistan. He ended up starting the Central Asia Institute. I had met him one time when he was out trying to raise money. He's a very humble, quiet man, and you could tell that being in front of people was almost painful. But this cause was too important to him not to, since he was the face of it. There's been a lot of controversy about this book, and a lot of people have claimed that maybe some parts of it aren't accurate, or maybe there was a little bit of something wrong with the bookkeeping of his organization, but I still don't think that we can discount what he has done for the education of young girls in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and I think it's a great read. 3 Cups of Tea, the title, comes from a tradition over there where you always come into someone's home and have not 1, not 2, but 3 cups of tea before you ever start talking business. But it's not really about the tea, of course. It's about the understanding that, again, stories and relationships and getting to know people before you decide to work with them is really important. It's 3 Cups of Tea by Greg Mortenson. Okay, I am so excited about this recommendation of a film. It's not a documentary really, because I think documentaries have to have words in them, and this isn't scripted at all. These people barely talk, if at all. The name of it is Babies. That's it, Babies. And get this, the whole premise, they follow around 4 babies from the time they're born until they're about a year old. 4 different countries. Sounds kind of boring, right? Oh my gosh, it's fascinating. We all know we could sit there and watch babies all day long anyway, but to watch them from different cultures, to watch how different people raise babies. The interesting one to me was the one in San Francisco in the United States showing our culture, and here we have all these strollers and beds and everything we can possibly have to protect them and make sure they're safe. And then in Africa, they were literally sitting there playing with the farm animals and eating the dirt. And guess what? They all turn out okay. I think it's a beautiful showing of that magical part of life from birth to a year old. Recommend it highly, and you can watch it with anybody, even your grandmother. It's Babies. And now my recommendation for a song, The Way Things Go by Thomas Rhett. Who's Thomas Rhett, you're wondering? Well, look it up. He's amazing. You know, one of the things I love more than anything is when I go to a concert, I'm going to see a headliner, and they have someone opening for them, and you know how it is. A lot of people don't even show up till the headliner starts, and even if they do sit down and listen to the opening act, they're kind of just waiting to get through that so they can get to the headliner. Well, that's what happened here, except nobody wanted it to end. Thomas Rhett recently opened for Florida Georgia Line, and he is a magician. He's got that old school voice, that old twangy voice, but oh my gosh, is he a great entertainer. Great on the guitar. I loved being introduced to this man's music, and I so look forward to watching how his journey goes, because I know he's going to be around for a while. Check it out, Thomas Rhett. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week.